Welcome everyone to the webinar series by Indian School of Image Management. To those who are attending the first webinar, I'll just give you a brief introduction that what are we doing and what are these webinar series about. So Indian School of Image Management has started these e-series of free webinars where the alumni and proud alumni of Indian School of Image Management do take our audiences through different programs, different topics on image consulting and image management. And we are continuing this. This is our fourth webinar in that series. I'm sure I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces also. So a lot of you have attended a few in the past, but the ones who have just joined in, if you want to continue learning about image consulting, this is one of the initiative that we have taken. All the people who attend the webinar also get a e-certificate once you complete and once you attend the webinar. So this is our webinar series, and I welcome all of you to the webinars by Indian School of Image Management. Before I hand it over to my amazing speaker today and my speaker of the day, Shreja, I am going to take a few moments to take you all through about our institute and take you through what Indian School of Image Management is all about. So I'm just going to take a few moments and then we'll hand it over to Shreja, who will be talking about a very interesting topic, which is on design. So I am really excited about it. Before I begin, just a few housekeeping rules. You all are on mute, so you cannot use the option to, speak. But if at all, if you have to say something during the session, I will urge you all to use the chat window. You all have the chat option on your screen, so you can write down about whatever comments you want to make, or if you want to say something, share your experience, or even any question that Shreja asks you, you can give your answers in the chat box. So keep yourself on silent so that you have a seamless experience and an uninterrupted experience during the webinar. So that's the housekeeping rule. Another one is that if you wish to receive your e-certificate, my team member will be uploading a link. It is a link which you need to submit. It's a feedback form, and on completion of the feedback, you will receive your e-certificate immediately. So that's the process for you all to receive the certificate. Please don't miss it. My team member will be uploading that in the chat box. So you have to just click on that link and fill up the form. And once you submit the form, you receive your e-certificate. Okay, so let's get started. Welcome and good evening, everyone. I am Sonia Dubey Diwan, the founder of Indian School of Image Management. And I'll give you a brief introduction of ISIM. It is India's premier institute which offers professional certification program as well as executive courses on image management, fashion, and soft skills. We are based out of, the headquarter is based out of Mumbai, but we have presence all over in India in major cities as well as abroad in Mauritius. We are the first institute in India to provide internationally recognized and accredited programs by the Association of Image Consultant International, that's AICI. We are also affiliated with many, not one, but many international institutes. One of the leading ones is International Image Institute, Canada. Also, we have been recently recognized as the Excellent Vocational Training Institute by the government of HRD as well as the UTI, which is the body of United Nations. And as in the education sector, we have been recognized and have been awarded as one of the best educational vocational training institutes. So that's a little bit about us. As I said, we offer programs which are professional certification program as well as executive courses. I'm going to take you through our two flagship programs, which is the professional certification program. The first one is image management dual certification. Why dual certification? Because this program is co-created by two people, two CIPs who are certified image professionals. And once you complete the program, you get certification by two different institutes, which both are internationally accredited and recognized. The program is a holistic program on image management, so you just don't learn the basics, you learn the intermediate, advanced level, as well as you get the tools, the practicals, and the learning resources when you complete this program. On an average, it takes approximately 4 to 6 months to complete the program, which include your classroom training, a lot of mentorship, self-learning, as well as training resources and assignments. Once you complete the program, you become a certified image consultant and you have the image management dual certification program achieved, which is also something that Shreja has completed from our institute, our today's speaker, Shreja Sarkar, and she is also someone who has successfully completed this internationally recognized program. The other program that we have, which is also a flagship program, is Advanced Soft Skills Certification Program. Again, a holistic program, which is something which covers starting all the way from the foundation level to the advanced level techniques, where we are talking about approximately 39 to 40 different subjects in soft skills. So it is a vast program. It is a vast certification program, and it includes a 6 to 7 month of training, mentorship, self-learning, as well as training resources. So these are the two programs that we have, which are our flagship programs. Other than that, we have a lot of executive programs, which is in collaboration with Perception Eyewear by Wendy Buchanan. We also have other programs with other international institutes as well. So yes, that's a bit about ISIM and what all do we offer. There are a lot of people and a lot of students who are proud alumni who complete the program and, just like Shreja, become successful image consultant and spread the word, as well as do fabulous work on image consulting. So before I go any further, I would actually like to give a little handover to Shreja over here, although she has a lovely introduction ready and she will be introducing herself. But Shreja is also a fashion designer, so not just an image consultant. She's got the knowledge of designing, fashion designing, as well as image consulting. So that's a amazing power-packed combination, and I'm pretty sure with today's topic of decoding design, she's going to take you through a very interesting journey. So over to you, Shreja, and yes, floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Kam. Ma'am, can you just send me?
I have to stop sharing,
Yeah.
and then you can share. And let me just make you a co-host so that you can share the screen. Go ahead.
Yes. Everyone can see. Can you just confirm me, please?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay. Okay. So a very good evening to everyone. I am super excited. So this is my very first webinar. So I'm just trying to control my excitement. So first of all, thank you, Sonia ma'am, for the introduction. It was lovely to hear from you. And so I've not taken time. I introduce myself. My name is Shreja Sarkar. I'm a fashion designer. I did my fashion designing from Pearl Academy, Mumbai, and also I've done celebrity styling. I've close to 40 plus celebs I've styled so far, and also I did 16 plus advertisements, and also I have individual image consultant clients, and I did my image consulting. And yes, I'm a proud alumni of ISIM. So thank you so much for the opportunity and also for this amazing course, which actually added that cherry on the cake in my life. So thank you so much. So that was me. So let's get started. So I thought, why not share something which I'm so true to me, true to myself. So yeah. So today is the subject is decoding design. So let's make it a little bit simpler what design is about. So okay. So what is design? So the first question comes is, what is design? So design is basically creating creative solutions, which is giving you solutions. Anything and everything you see is design at the end of the day. So I will be sharing you one of my favorite quotes, which is, design is intelligence made visible. If you guys agree to this, please can you just drop a yes? And if it's no, you can share your views. So in the chat box, I just want to know like whether you agree with me or not. Okay, great. So then let's go on to the next question. Okay. Okay. Where can we see design? Okay, so let's make it a little interesting. So, okay, so wherever you are at the moment, where can you see design? Or what do you think, according to you, is design? So, can you just write out in your chat box? I just want to know, like, what you're aware of, or where do you see is design, and what is design and what is not design. So, if you can tell me, then that will be great. So, I'll be giving you like a minute. So, whatever, like anything and everything comes to your mind. So yes, yes, answers are coming in. Keep them coming. Yes, very good. In our houses, behind you. Okay. Well, okay. For nature, designs everywhere, patterns. Wow, great. Great. Awesome. Everything's there soothing to life. Perfect. Perfect. It's so true. Our very existence is a design. I can see design all around the world. I can see design in you. Oh, wow. Great. That's so true. Yes. So design is everywhere you can see. Anything and everything is a part of design. Some way or the other, design was a part of the process. So let's see. Okay. So the car which you ride in, or the bike or cycle, the jewelry, the magazines, or the fabric you're wearing, your furnitures, and the house you're living in, the architecture design, everything is design. Design is the mother, and from there different childs have been born, like fashion, then web, animation, interiors, everything. So design is the mother, and I thought, why not, let's talk about a mother for today. So also the website, the Zoom which we are actually conducting the webinar, it's also a part of design. Then the living room or the bedroom which you're staying, obviously. Then the garments you wear, the fashion, your wedding outfit or your birthday outfit, or anything, even the night suits, the lingerie, the sleepwear, everything is design. And obviously the Star Treks, the Shinchan, the Pokemon, the Pikachu, everything is design. Okay. So yeah, obviously the mobile phone, your laptop, your the lights, the watches, the costumes in the movies you see, the sets, the serials, everything. The running shoes which you wore today to go for a run. I know we are restricted, but probably you might be like before the lockdown. Obviously, you wore those shoes. Yes, and obviously the Magdi burger. How can you forget that? The packaging, you normally we don't see, we just open and we just throw it and eat the burger because that's the main focus, but then that packaging also is design. So I can't put everything because everything is design. So and how we look at it is very different. So anything and everything is design. Okay. So then I was thinking, for whom do we design? That's the question. It comes, whom do we design? It's very simple. It's for us, the people, the users, because we are the consumers at the end of the day. Everything, like if I am a fashion designer, I'm making garments, I'm making for myself, I'm making for the audience. So somebody is making an automobile designer, so he's making automobile engineers and designers, they're making for us, so it's for us. Then why do we design? Anybody thinks, why do we design, why do we need designers? So if I ask you this question, what is your what will you say? Can you just put it down in the chat box? Like, why do we design? Why do you think we need designers? Okay, to have joy in life. Okay, okay, everything is visible to our product. Okay, better creations, to look good. Wow, I like that answer. Yes, to find solutions, to have the best utility. Obviously, anything else? Yes, yeah, to have a better perspective. Definitely. Okay, so why do we design? The thing is like, yes. So to create solutions which are, one is simple. It has to be simple. It has to be effective, and it has to be efficient, obviously. And then it has to be error free. We can't have errors. And definitely it has to be easy to learn and to use, because we are making it for the people, for everyone. So it has to be very simplified versions. And then definitely it has to be creative, because design is something which is, there's no box. People say it's out of the box, but I think there's no box in it. You just create it. So you make that path breaking way. So the main reason for design is to create solutions, to make our lives easier. Like anything and everything, it's to make it like very easy, comfortable. Anything you see, the light, the air conditioner, the coffee mug, for instance, that's making you easy to have, to have a great experience. Anything and everything, the reusable, the anything and everything under the sun you can think of. Even nature also has design. So okay, so then how do we design? That's where my 4 years of studying in Pearl actually comes into play. So then I will make this thing very clear that design process is like, all of us have a basic underline, but then each designer, each category of design, take it to another level in a different process. So our processes are similar but not the same. So me as a fashion designer, the processes it will involve is going to be different from a jewelry designer, from a textile designer, to a automobile, to a phone, anything. So everybody, but then there's a similar underlining. So firstly, I'm going to be discussing with you the basic underlining. Obviously, 4 years of studying, I can't put it in a webinar, but I can give you a guideline so that you can start thinking of why not give it a shot. So yes. Okay. So first thing, we define the problem. So there it is, in 2-3 ways it can happen. One is if you're doing, if you're in a company, so the clients will tell you the problem. The clients might say the problem, or you might find a problem if if you're actually doing a project, solo project. So first you have to define the problem. Where is it lacking? Where is the gap? So the main thing is, where is it gap, or what the problems we are facing? So design is basically the solution, which I told, creating creative solutions. So if I see the problem, then only I can make an answer. So the first is defining the problem, which is the core starting point of it. Then we do research. And trust me, research is not easy. It's a crazy research. It's not restricted to only Wikipedia. So you have to go through a lot of websites. So Google is a best friend. You have to go for a lot of videos. You have to go for books. Library also becomes a part of your life. And also you do a lot of surveys, get to know people who have explored. So it's a very interesting phase. Not all enjoy it, but that's something which helps you to go deeper and deeper and deeper into that particular subject. Then is the fun part. We do the brainstorming and mind mapping. So brainstorming is basically, okay, I know the word says like storming your brain. So it's technically like that. Okay. So basically whatever words come to your mind. So after you've done research and you know the problem, how can you give keywords? Like for example, if I have to describe myself, who am I? Like, okay, I'm Shuja, I'm Sarkar, I'm a Bengali, I have food. Yeah, like I'm having a webinar, I'm excited, I'm jumping, I'm very friendly, I'm a Pisces. So, these are keywords which come to me. So something like this on the particular problem, the particular program or particular inspiration we're designing. So we do a brainstorm like that. So yes, and then mind mapping is basically categorizing those designs. So one category, like for example, I did my brainstorm at this moment, and it's crazy, but yeah, just to explain it. So if I do that, so I'll put a part of me as like food. So what do I like in food? A part of me is travel. So, categorizing each portion of the brainstorming. So brainstorming is the first when you put down words, like literally throw words, and then you categorize those words. So then comes developing the solutions. Okay, so that's a fun part and a brain racking part where you figure out, okay, this is good, that's good. You do a lot of solution develop. Okay, this can happen. Okay, we can modify this. So this is the entire process, because the moment you make, you feel like, okay, we can do more. So it's a continuous process. And then the reality check comes into play, like validation. So you're showing it to your client, or you're showing it to your company bosses or the team. You're presenting or pitching your idea, and then you get a yes, no, this, that, all this thing happens, all the yeses and nos and maybe and changes and yeah. So then the next step directly goes is improve your design. Then you see where did you lack, what did you do. So this 4, 5, and 6 is like a loop. It's like it never ends. It just goes on. So once you improve your design, then again you have to. So basically, you're developing more solutions, and then again you're going for a validation, and again you're improving design. So this can go on. So it can be through 3 times. It can be 10, 15 times. It can be more. I'm not scaring, but yes, a lot of hard work goes behind whatever you're wearing, whatever you see. So then finally the final design comes in, like the approval, the seal, and you're like, oh God, finally it's done. So then the final design comes and it launches are happening. But no, that it doesn't end there. Because for example, I'll give you an example, which is the iPhone. So everywhere they're taking out versions. What is it? Are they changing the basic code? No. So once, for example, the iPhone 10 is there, so that becomes the starting point. And from there, you go to research, then you do brainstorming, then you develop solution, then validations happen, then you improve your design, then again iPhone 11 comes in. And again that iPhone 11 becomes the starting point to for another version. So every moment you go through this cycle to become or to produce, to create more better solutions, more high tech, more inputs there, more easy accesses. So that's what the loop actually continues. So okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to be, so I did fashion designing. So obviously other designs I can't tell you because I personally haven't done, but I know of it. So but then I did my graduation in fashion designing. So in my graduation project, so I'm going to be showing you a little bit of the process, which is very minor, like it's like 0.0000001% of what I did. Because if I show you that, it's crazy. You will be like, I've lost it. So I started with by inspiration. So let's just take you to my final project. I'm very excited because this takes me back to my graduation days, and I was super close and excited to this project. So yes. So firstly, we start with the inspiration. What inspires me? So I was like, okay, what inspires me? I was thinking, brainstorming, what do I inspire? But then I thought, why not something which is connected to nature? So nature has this golden ratio. I think many of you will be aware of it. And Fibonacci numbers, the spiral, the Fibonacci numbers, the golden spiral. So I got inspired by that, and I saw in different, like the Eiffel Tower has the Taj Mahal. So anything which is the epitome of perfection or beauty has that ratio, has that Fibonacci numbers. So the Mona Lisa, the Vitruvian Man, the galaxies, the plants, the Eiffel, obviously. Who doesn't love Paris? Come on. So we go to see that Eiffel Tower and it's so much connected, but then it has that magical number. So I got very inspired by that. And then I did my inspiration. And then I was like, for whom do I make it? So the client is very important in this case. Who is my client or my target audience? I can't make something for the entire age range. So everybody has different aesthetics, their needs, their demands, their desires. So I did a clientele. I was like, okay, something of 24 to 33. Like I fall in like between. So I was like, not between 26. So like closer to that 24. So I was like, why not make something of this age group? Like I can relate to, I can express myself. So after that, I did a mood board. So mood board is essential just to show that what kind of mood you want to express, what it is like. So then I was like, it's something when somebody wears it, feels a part of nature, as if the person is carrying that essence, that aesthetics of a part of nature. We are a part of nature, but carrying it to your clothing also. So that was something I wanted to set the mood on. Then I did research. Okay, this is just one page, but when I see this, I'm like, oh God, I did crazy research. If I would like to disclose this first time ever. Some of you might be shocked. Even I got shocked because I thought, I don't know, during my close, I was thinking, why not let me just keep a count of it? Like how many hours did I research on this? So although like some of you know, some of you might not, that my dad is a mathematics professor. So I didn't take help. I'm making it on record. I didn't take his help. So he kind of freaked out when he got to know that I'm doing something mathematical, geometric. He was like, you left in class 10, why will you do it now? I said, I just want to do it, and why not? So because I didn't take any help and it was a challenge for me, so I did around, I think 100 hours or something. So I went through all possible videos. I contacted all possible people who have done research, and I explored. I went crazy. I was like, if anybody knows everything, it has to be me. So I went crazy. I'm not saying everybody does that, but I did it because I was too fascinated and I was deep into it. So then I explored, I got images, I got the research, how maths happen and everything. And then, so it was a detailed research. So primary researches, secondary, the surveys, talking to people, reading books. So I did all that. And after that, I did my brainstorm. So I thought, why not? Why am I so into this? I did a brainstorming on myself. I did a brainstorming on the golden ratio. And then I kind of got 2 points which I was working on, which is one is perfection. Because I think perfection, that definition varies. Perfect is different to everyone. Probably I might think something as a perfect, probably you might not. So definition varies, and calculations. After all, I left maths, but then it's in my DNA. I can't help it. So, I just suddenly, that DNA just woke up. So I did that. And after that, I came up with this concept, which is basically how geometry is present in nature. So I took this flower, it's called baby's breath. And I was like, okay, let's just take out the math. So I got my graph papers on, started, making all this small, how much centimeter and everything. So I did this decoding. So the picture itself is very making things clear that how the flower can be converted into geometry. So then this was my main concept. And then I did a motive development. So how I'll take my embroideries and printing and how it will come. So I was exploring. So this is the time when you explore. You're just exploring the concept. So then I started exploring, and after that, so you can see a lot of explorations I was doing. I did more. I'm just keeping it short and crisp. And then I did some embroideries. I did block printing. I did digital printing. So all this are part of the process. All this kind of falls into it. And then I did some. Then I got my color palette. So I thought, let me keep my color palette to the flower. Restrict to that. So I got colors. I got fabric. I selected. I got this color palette. You can see. And after that, I sketched. Okay, so this was that part when it I kind of got freaked out and lost my mind, kind of, because I was like, how do I incorporate the maths? Initially, I was super excited. I was like, brain blocks. So you have blocks during designing because you're like, okay, you were starting, you were very focused or something, and then you were like, okay, what do I do next? Where am I stuck? Why am I even stuck? What's happening to my life? So then I got it, and then I was like, how do I incorporate the Fibonacci? Because the numbers, the geometry is there in nature, but you can't see it directly. It's there, but it's like a behind the scene geometry. It's there. So I thought, okay, how? So then each of my garment had the Fibonacci numbers in it. So that's the sketches. So this is like little bit of it I'm just showing. And after that, so first of all, you see the right hand picture now, it's like the finished product. So when you turn the magazines and when you see those pictures coming in the internet, all this, like the beautiful photo shoot, that element, that elegance comes in. So you feel like, oh God, wow, like okay, it's beautiful and all, but then so much of craziness happens. Okay, so let's go back to the left hand side. So that was the sketch I did it, and then I thought, okay, that is the motive, I'm going to be using it. And after that, I did a prototype, or in other words, prototype we can call samples. So we have to make patterns, and then we have to get it stitched on muslin. So this was the rough, just to check whether the fitting was done, because this was something I did it for the first time, because having calculative measurements in a garment was something, it was not that, because there's something standards we follow. Okay, this is the armhole, this is the length, this is the breadth, this is going to be. But this was something completely based on that. If it is a 3 inch, it has to be a 3 inch. If it's a 55 inches, it has to be a 55 inch, because I was keeping that. So this was one of the crazy moments for me. And then I did it, and it turned out nice. I feel like I was proud of it. Okay, so and then finally I did my designing, and then I did a shoot. So when I presented the shoot, or when I just show you a picture of the shoot, you will be like, okay. But then, yes, so much craziness done. This is just one garment I showed you. I had to do 5 garments. So into 5 times. So the craziness was like that. And okay, so then, okay. So also, it's not only just creating beautiful garments. We have to do spec sheets. So spec sheets are basically like, for example, if you have to replicate this design anywhere in the world, like you might be sitting in US or even in India, like for example, Delhi. So how do you know if I'm not present there? So we have to give a detailed where, what is the stitching, what is the button, how much is the length, so everything in detail. And also the cost sheet. Oh God, this is something I struggle. Like, in designing, I thought when I came to design, I thought I don't have to do maths in my life, but yeah, I'm crazy. I'm telling you, my genes are crazy. So I did a maths project and I had to do costing, which is so tough. Like Ashwin sir will know that I'm crazy with finances. So that this time I'm still a novice. That time I was beyond a novice. So all the costing details like fabric to color to dye to printing to each and everything the garment has, it's on paper. So that even if I'm not there, you can replicate that design. So after that, so this was the process. So obviously there's more to it, but I'm just giving an overview of it so that people understand that when you take that cloth out of that rack, it has a story. Probably you're not aware of it, but it do tell a story. So you, like, for example, if somebody wears this garment, you're actually wearing a geometry which is present in nature, which is giving that connection, that oneness with nature, and it has a story. Probably it will not, because I did a pet collection, a ready to wear collection. Probably you will not understand that, okay, what's in it. It's just like flowers and leaves and everything. But then, yes, it has a story way deeper than you think. Even the color, like if you're wearing like a blue shirt, that blue has some story. It's come from something. Probably that story relates to the indigo story or anything, the sky, the any story. So everything is related to a story. It says something about the designer. It's a part, it's an art. It's an art which the story, which the designer has created. And you are being part of that design, part of that art. So yes. So yeah, now the question comes, okay, like, okay, I know what is design, where is design. Then when do we know it is a good design? I think, like, do you have this question in mind? Just say yes or no in the chat options. Like, I really want to know. Like, do you think that, do this question comes to your mind? Like, I just want to know. I'll be waiting. Okay, yes, always, obviously. I also had it. Yes, yes, okay, yes, I know. So I'll be making little life simpler. So that's why I'm here. So yes, let's see what it says. Two things I personally say. There are many things you can look at, but the two core things which you should see. One is the look. How does it look? Because the best judge is this: your two beautiful eyes. It is the best judge. Anything, no, whatever anybody and everybody says, this is the best judge. So trust this. So one is the look, and second, the core important is functionality. Whether it's whether it's just a piece of art or it's a design. So that's where the difference comes in. Whether it's a piece of art which is there, which increases which has a story, but it's something doesn't have a functionality, and whether it has an element of functionality which adds that bit of a design aspect to it. So these are two things which is important. So now is the fun part. So obviously I can just go on crazy, but then I kind of restricted to few slides of showing you some of the designs which I feel is like good design, or you can say great design. So I'll just keep it to good. So because there's always room for improvement. Anything. I told you the process, we can just go back and back and back and back. So probably I might do the collection in this way. If any of you take that same reference point and start again, you will be producing it differently because you see the world in a different way. To you, ratios and proportions and golden ratio, Fibonacci is different. Probably you might take it as a print, or you can do anything. So that's it. So let's see. So let's get started. I'm excited. If you're excited, can you just drop me? Because I feel like because of this I can't hear you. So if you're really excited and how you're feeling with, just drop me. So because I know that whether it's not like, whether it's interesting, whether you're interested or not, then it will be, I can also know it. Okay, very yes. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you. Damn excited. Okay, thank you, Ria. Oh, Shilpa, bring it on. Yeah, I'm getting it. So interesting. Thank you. You're really good. Okay, super excited. Okay, so let's see it. Okay. Okay. So this is Murphy bed. So on the left hand side, you can see that it's a wardrobe, it's a desk and a chair. So you can work, you can keep your things, everything is sorted. But then you have, for example, you stay in a very one small room and you don't have space. And how do you put a bed and a furniture and workspace? So and then, so this is a good design. I'll put it that you are having a bed. So when you pull that down, it's a bed. So you can sleep, you can work, and it doesn't even take that much space. So it's a good design when in terms of functionality as it looks also. You can get much options, better options, obviously, in terms of the furniture's placements. But then the design, the thought process, the solution is the key. The solution, the functionality, the solution is the key. So this is one of the, from the interior design aspect I'm telling you. I'll be sharing, so although you might be thinking I'm fashion, why am I telling everything? Because design is the mother, and we are discussing everything. So I will obviously I will talk about fashion, but I will be also talking about in general everything, so that you have a broader perspective. And when you see, so after this webinar, you will have a change in your mind. So, okay. So then is side pockets. So you might say, oh, it's a pocket. What is there? Like it's a pocket. But no, the side pocket has a functionality. It's just there on the side. You don't even notice that there's a pocket. But then it's used. Like for example, this lady is just carrying a book and she's just walking. She's putting her hand. Okay, you can put your hand. You can put your keys. You can put some changes and money. You can put your mobile. So your important documents or something, or your chewing gums and chiclets. So that's the functionality. We just look into garments like, हाँ, pocket hai, theek hai, take it. But it does have something. It does have that functionality, which we don't look. And this design doesn't just came one day like, oh, let's just put a side pocket. It was, the process was followed. Probably there were many designs done and it was not looking good, and varieties came into play. So I'm just giving you one examples, but there are many. Like anything and everything you pick up in terms of garments, there's something detailing which is telling you a story, functionality. So yes, then my favorite, and love this. So I'm designing my house at the moment. So these are something essentials which my house didn't have. So these are dimmer switches, which is basically you rotate. So this actually controls the electrical flow. So you can see the change in the brightness. So the left one is bright, then it has gone dimmer, then it's more dimmer. So you can. So this is a great light design. And obviously it's not only the light design, it's also a part of the electrical part. So it's not only one person, it's like a team, a group of people who come together for this great designs to come into play. I love dimmers. Like if you like it, just I feel this is one of the great designs. And if you agree with me, can you just drop a yes? Like I just want to know whether like I am like do you think this is a great design? Like, because I really want to know. I feel it's a great design. Yep. Okay. Yeses are coming. Okay. Love it. Okay. Unique creativity. Very good. Yes. Great. Okay. So yeses are coming. Yes, obviously I agree. So next is something I got to know recently. So this is one of the fun things, and like before starting the webinar, I was also having a soda can with the straw. So I've learned this. So like you can see on the left hand side, that's how the can is. So when you first look at it, you're like, okay, what's in it? Like, why is it like they have shaped it in this way? So when you open, you understand there's a perfect way it's open. It doesn't open larger, smaller, the perfect, so that it doesn't spill on you. And also when you turn that round, you can put a straw. So if I'm wearing a lipstick, like all the ladies will understand, relate, having it, and that lipstick mark on that soda can is something we don't like it. So you just put your straw there and enjoy it. Like I can show you also. Like I was having a drink and I just put the straw there, and I was like, see, best. I got to know recently. Like if you guys just got to know this, please just say, like if you knew it, let me know. If you just know it now, tell me, because I really want to know, because I recently got to know. Like just 10 days or 15 days back. So yeah, I know it. Okay, Ashwin sir, the school didn't know about this. Yeah, Shilpa, nice. I knew it. Okay, she knew it. Okay, got to know now. Yes, Shraddha, you can use it now. Came to know a few seconds. Smart girl. Okay, came to know now. So now it's simple. So whenever you see this can, you know that it's just not opening. There's another functionality added to it. Okay. So the ring. Okay. So in jewelry design also, like, nothing. Every design field is evolving. They're exploring. They're experimenting. So in this case, like the adjustable rings. There might be jewelry designers on this webinar, so you will relate to it, like how everything is evolving. So adjusting the ring according to the size of the finger. Like for example, like if if you gain those kgs, for example, like during lockdown, I'm eating a lot, so my ring is not fitting me. So this is going to help. And if I'm like getting into that shape before that, wedding reception of your friend, you still can fit that ring. And also, if you want to give it to your mom, your sister, your cousin, anybody, at any time can wear this. So that's one of the great design elements added to a ring. Okay, so now let's see who designed it. Okay, so this was a crazy thing. Who designed it? So okay, so what I think is like, I think most of you are watching this webinar. Like some of you, the proportions, some are watching it on a mobile phone, right? Some are watching it. Can you just raise your hand, or you can just like raise your hands, or you can just put it on the chat box like yes. Okay. Actually, okay, yep, yes. No laptop, okay. So I'll be coming to that also. So laptops and mobile phones. So let's see who designed it first. So this was the first ever telephone. So this was the starting point. So, from here, so many designs, markets are flooded with mobile phones and telephones and all. So now telephones, I think, hardly exist apart from the intercoms, I feel. So, but this was the starting design. So that's why the process which I explained, how do we design, the process is a cyclic, it continues. Anywhere and everything, improvements or versions coming out is, so where you finish is a starting point. Where you finish is a starting point. It's for a life as well. Like where we finish that, we start again and again from that point. So this one is. And whoever is using a laptop or a desktop or a computer, this was the first computer ever. Can you believe this? Like we have such a baby laptop, we can just carry it anywhere in the world. And this was like, when I saw it, I was like, huh? This is the starting point. Like, my God, it's so crazy. Like, it's such a huge, so many devices. This is coming in, this is coming in. Okay, this is not working. It's so crazy, right? Like, I got freaked out when I saw this design. I was like, my God, how did they came to the conclusion and made such a huge design? And this was called ENIAC, Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. So this was the name of it. Okay, so obviously we are sitting. So if you're on the other side of the world, it's day. You might not be using a light, but if you're in this part on the towards the east side, then you will be probably having evening or night, and somebody might have midnight also. So the first ever light was discovered. So this was the design. But the fun fact or the crazy fact is, before this came to life, Thomas Alva Edison and his team tested 3,000 bulbs. Can you believe it? 3,000 bulbs they tested, and then they came up with this. Like 3,000 attempts. Like I told you, now the process can go on for 2, 3, 15, 10. For them, it went 3,000 times. It's blowing. It blew my mind off. And I was like, okay, if someone tells me to repeat it 3,000 times, like, it's crazy, isn't it? But yes, that's what design is. It's fun, it's interesting. You're discovering something, you're inventing something. That little discoverer, inventor, and creator is there in you. Okay, so let's go to the next. Okay, we have the fans on right now. So this was the very first sketch of the fan which was there. And then obviously, okay, this is the air conditioner. So we all are sitting, mostly some of you might be sitting in ACs. So this air conditioner was the first one. Like just think of it, such a gigantic, but then that was starting with, that was the first air conditioner in the world. So that's what it is. Like who designed? So I only took those few designs which are at the moment with you, or you're using it, or in front of you, or in it. There are more. I can just go on with like a pen, a can, and a toothbrush and this that, but I chose only those which are at the moment you're using it or getting the benefits out of it. Okay, so let's just like, do you know the design formula? So okay, so till now I have said so many things. So what do you guys think? What will be the design formula? I really want to know from you guys. What do you think is the design formula? Chat box. I just want to know. What do you think? What can be the design formula which all the designers or most of the designers keep in mind to use to create great design. So let's see. Okay, let's see. Think. Okay. Come on, guys, keep the answers coming. I also want to know. Let's be creative. What do you think the design formula is? I'll give you some time. It's okay. Inspiration. Wow. Think. Okay. Guys, come on. It's okay. There's nothing wrong, right? Just keep them coming. Think, implement, validate. Okay. That's the formula. Okay. Keep them coming. I'm waiting. I'm there. Research plus think plus create. Great. Anything else? Come on. It's okay. There's nothing right and wrong in design because everybody thinks in a different way. Everybody has a different perspective altogether. Golden ratio, nice. Cognition plus creativity plus motivation plus patience. Yeah, true. Patience is very needed. Yeah, then. Okay, so let's tell you this. Okay. The easy and fun part. Firstly, anything, you have to have those five senses activated. You need to see where the problem lies or the missing gap. You have to hear it, like you have to touch it, you have to taste it. I'm not asking you to taste the telephone, please don't do that. In terms of other food designs and culinary designs, it's that, yeah, please don't do that. I'm telling you, I won't be responsible. And then smell, how is it smelling, whether it's coming, whether it's a burning smell coming, whether it's not. So the five senses is the first step for any design formula. That's it. And then your brain, your left and your right, both come into play. Sometimes the creative part is more, sometimes the analytical part is more, but it's okay. So in companies, what happens if you're doing it single-handedly or alone, you're designing, you have to kind of like use both of your brains. But if you're having like a company, you have people who are creatives, who have been like what do you call this, creatives. They see the creative part of it, and also the other part of it is basically like the analytical, the maths, the everything they see and watch. So that's what design is. So you can also do it. So basically keep all the senses active, keep this best judgment. So all the five senses are the best judgments, keep them on, get your left brain and your right brain work together, and you create amazing beautiful designs in your own way. Design is very personal, very, it's a way of storytelling. You tell your story. It's not only verbal, it's for everything, like what you wear, what color you choose, anything tells a story, tells a part of you. So that's it. And yeah, happy decoding and namaste. So over to Sonia ma'am. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Shreja. And that was a wonderful, wonderful presentation. Such amazing energy, and people just enjoyed so much. I can read all the comments, and in the chat, it's highly engaging, really, really engaging. And I just love the information that you shared and the energy that you brought on. So amazing, amazing work. Before we wind up, does anyone have any questions for Shreja? So feel free to ask, and she'll be more than happy to share her insights more on designing. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and shoot. So you're getting wonderful responses. Everyone is just loving it. So it's wow, it's amazing. The responses are so amazing. Everyone loved it. Okay, there's a question for you from Rohan. So he's asking
who's my favorite fashion designer and why. It's a lot, to be very honest, because each era, each designer has played a part. But to be very honest, my favorite brand, I can say, I'm like a Gucci lover. So I feel their aesthetics and the way they tell the story is something I relate to. But there's not such a one particular designer. So it varies to time to time. Brands. Particularly, I'm a very Gucci person, but there's no particular designer because each designer has their own aesthetics, and at different mood I feel that designer inspires me. So during each collection or each moment I feel, okay, this designer inspired me more, the other time the other designer inspired me more. So it's based on the aesthetics and the mood. So yeah.
Great. And I think Tashika is asking where's the link. I believe my team member has already put that link once, but I will request him once again to put it up on the chat so you can use that link to fill up your feedback form. And yes, it's right there on the chat window. So please click on the link and fill up the feedback. The minute you submit, you receive your e-certificate. There are a couple of more questions, Shreja. So if you want to answer.
Yes, your inspiration and who's an inspiration idol. So at different points in my life, different people have inspired me. Like Sonia ma'am obviously is one of them. Like she knows it. She's like one of the core inspirator for me. And Ashwin sir too. Sorry, but Sonia ma'am is more. Sorry, Ashwin sir. But obviously, my parents have been an inspiration. My sister, and I think inspiration is something, everybody inspires in a very different level to me. Like each person has something to inspire me. I take something from each person because everybody has a story, and I take the small bits and I put those like a garland, and that's where my inspiration comes in.
Wonderful. So well said. I think that's about it. Those were the end of all the questions that you had. And again, a lot of thank yous and lovely presentations, and everyone loved it. So this was the end to our webinar today, which was decoding design. And I think Shreja has done justice to this topic and couldn't be done any better. So wonderful. And your project was just mind blowing what you have
Thank
done.
you so much.
I was wondering why didn't you show me this before? So I would request whenever we meet next, please bring him along. But I hope everyone, all our audience, learned something new today and have a better understanding of looking at design and approaching it in a much more simpler manner, what Shreja has told us. So with that note, I would yes, once again, remind you all to just click on the link, submit your feedback, and receive your e-certificate. We will be back with more webinars in this series, so please keep yourself updated and follow us on our social media for the next subject as well as the next topic and speaker. And we will be back with another speaker on the webinar series by Indian School of Image Management. Thank you so much. And yes, great evening to all of you.
Thank you so much. Keep appreciating design and decoding them.
Wonderful. Take care, everyone. Bye, Shreja.
Thank you. Bye, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.